Hello class, today what we're going to be doing is the Hello World program. So first thing we want to do is go to box.com. Under Advanced Computer Math, we want to go to Hello World assignment. And we have a bunch of stuff here. If you want the Java files with no comments, look in here. If you want to install this BlueJ at home, here's the BlueJ installers. This is for 3.17 for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Obviously most people are going to be using the Windows one. The only good Mac is Big Mac. And we have the font explanation website. If you want more explanation on how to do fonts, it's right here. Go ahead and just click on that link, and it goes through a whole bunch of stuff. You have the notes to follow along with the movie I'm doing right now. And you also have the 3 Java files, which I need you to download, and the input file. To download these, you click on one, click download, or click on the top one, hold shift to the bottom, and click download on all of them. When you download them, they go open to your download folder, and we have the files right there, these 4. First thing you want to do is now open up BlueJ, which is BlueJ is the desktop on the shortcut. If you can't find that, press the Windows key, type in BlueJ, and Windows 10 will automatically find it for you. Just click on that link. After you open it up, what we're going to be doing is following these instructions. Once it opens up, it already opened up in the background. So we're going to go Project, New Project. We're going to click on Documents. Make sure you actually click on Documents. We're going to go Fenson, Nate, Demo, Hello World, and press Enter. Now that we created this, what we want to do is we want to drag the Java files from our downloads into it. So to click the one, we want to just drag it over. If we have multiple ones, we can press and hold Shift and click on both and then drag both of them over. Then what we want to do is we want to copy the input.txt file. So go copy, go over to your documents, go to your folder and paste it in there. So it should look like that now. Now what we want to do is compile it and run these programs just to see what goes on. The first one we're going to look at is Hello World with comments. We're going to right click it, go to void main, press enter, and it opens up the fact of the day, Mr. Fenson Pones. The next one's the applet. We're going to right click and go run applet, hit OK. And this again says Mr. Fenson Pones in a different layout. That's an applet. And last but not least, we're going to right click Fenson file, hit void main, press enter. Done pops up. Only done pops up because if we go over to our program folder, now we have made all these class and ctext files for every program we ran. And output.txt now says Mr. Fenson Pones, and it actually was created because it didn't exist anymore. So now we did through all those things. Now we're going to look like this, which we already did. Notice this is what it looked like. Now it has the output.txt file as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Hello Main and change this so it looks like this. So we're going to go into our BlueJ, go to Hello World, and what we're going to be doing is going through this. First thing you want to do is change this to Fenson Nate period 8, because period 8 never exists. This is for the movie. And then it's going to be Hello Main, because main right here. We're going to take this line, select copy, hit end, paste, paste, and all we're going to do is change Mr. Fenson to a student. So I'm going to say J Pones, and then I'm going to put in there. You don't have to put in. I'm going to pick a game, so I'm going to pick Smash Bros, and then just have it say Mr. Fenson. Then what we're going to do is go up here, change your name, put your period, put the date of submission. Pre is what you knew before. So for example, what I knew before is Mr. Fenson was amazing at Smash. Would be wrong because that only comments about this. That doesn't help you what you knew about the program before. So what I knew about the program before was, for example, stuff that you should be doing better statements than this. Java is a programming language. That doesn't help me understand what you knew before. Please put stuff in here that actually helps me understand you as a student better so I can teach you better. If you put junk stuff in there, I'm just not going to give you credit. Put some thought into it. The most important thing to me is the post, which means what you learned from doing this assignment. So what I learned from here is you can have multiple print lines to output on different lines. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. Now granted, that is part of the requirements, but it's going a little bit theory above the requirements. The other one is a better one would be I can put numbers inside of a string, the green stuff. Which means you can put number 1, Mr. Fenson, right in there. That's something you learn. And the summary is what the program does, prints 3 lines to the screen. So that's that. Turn that in after the 9th, of course. But anyways, we go to the next one, Hello World Applet. So again, we're looking like this. We have that done. So we're going to go to Hello Applet. First thing I want to show you is we'll remember the XY plane. With the XY plane, it goes positive up, positive to the right. Well, BlueJ applets, what we have is we're basically in the bottom right quadrant, except The top left would be 0, 0, and y increases as we go down is the only difference. Otherwise, it's the exact same thing as the XY plane, where 0, 0 is top left, 100, 100 is bottom right, X, Y, X, Y, so on and so forth. So in this hello applet, we're going to follow these directions. So we go in here, and again, first things first, we need to put and if we put this correctly, it'll automatically comment out. You need pre-post name date period summary. We want to change the file name to Fenson Nate 8 hello applet because of this right here. It extends applet, which means this Java program is using the built-in applet modules to do stuff, or objects to do stuff. And it usually initializes variables. We're not really using variables here. Technically, we are right here. Oh, you need to create a font of some kind. You want to name this font, so you're going to rename this. And when you rename this, you also need to put it here, otherwise you're going to get a compile error. You need to change the font name, so we're going to open up Word for this. We're going to change plain to something else. You can either put bold, or you can put italic. And we want to change the font size, go bigger, go home. I'm going to put 26. And now when I run this, as you can see, and I'm just burning time so that Word can open up, the font has not changed. Now that Word opened up, we're going to go here and go to the fonts, and we're going to pick a font. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Let's do Lucida Sans. So we're going to go into my program, and instead of serif, we're going to do Lucida Sans with the space, compile and run it. Not all fonts work, but 90% of them do work. And there we go, Lucida Sans. You need to pick your own font, preferably not this one, obviously. And now what we need to do, just like the previous assignment, we have a g.drawString. What I showed in class was you click on Fenson, press home, press and hold shift, press end, let go, press Control C, press end and paste. And again, to do this again, we're going to click here, anywhere on the line. We're going to press home to move the cursor to the left. We're going to hold shift so we can select all the way to the end by clicking on end. Now we press Control C to copy. We press N to go to the end of the current line. So when we press enter, it goes to the new line without splitting up the line. And then Control V to paste. Then we're going to press home to go back to the front, and then go edit auto layout to fix the spacing. And again, you want to change this to the same thing. You want to pick another name. So we're going to go Cali, California, Pones in, pick a game, Settlers of Catan, against, and you don't need to put in and against, but it'll just make more sense. Mr. Fenson. Now when I run this, I hit Control K to compile, or I click the compile button here or the compile button here. And notice that all the text is on top of each other because we have the same XY coordinates for each one. So what we need to do is change these XY coordinates. So I'm going to go 300, 200, 100, and then I want this to be on the left, this to be in the middle, so 500, this to be on the right, and let's do 800, and this to be 400. So now when I compile and run this, notice how it's in a line from left to right. And if I wanted to move this settlers a little bit closer, I'm going to decrease the Y. So we're going to go into our code, and I want to move the settlers of Catan over to the left, so I'm going to change this to 350. And now when I compile and run it, notice we're comparing it to this right here. Notice how it moved over 50 pixels, and it's over closer to the left. I could move the fence over. Just make sure you have at least 3 pixels between the furthest to the right point of this and the furthest to the left point of this. That will be checked. That is part of the requirements. Except instead of going this way, you need to go top left to bottom right, so that it looks something like the orange here, or like this would be good. That's the example output. And we need to do some tidying up here. So first thing you want to do is go back to your BlueJ applet and go to the hello main. We're going to right click and compile, or you can click compile here. And we're going to run the program, and then up on options, just make sure you check these 2 boxes. The other one is open up one of your codes, go up to options, go preferences, and make sure you change this to size 24 font just so it's bigger, so it's easier to read. You don't have to do 24, but doing somewhere around there is good, because then you're not squinting like a grandpa going, I can't see it. And last but not least, what you want to do is you want to make sure when you go into your Windows Explorer, go to View and check these 2 boxes, because the file name extensions allows you to see what Java files are just by going here. So you see this is literally a .java file. And last but not least, right click on the .java file, click Open With, click Choose Another App. Click on Notepad, check the box, always use this, and press OK, and then it instantly opens up, so it's so much easier to do that. And again, just a little quick tip, if you want to change the font size on Notepad, go Format, Font, and change the size right here, or you can even change the font if you really want to. And again, this is all in the instructions here if you want to follow it. Now we're going to move on to the next file, fencinfile.java. So we're going to go back into our BlueJ file and open up the last file. Again, first thing you always want to do is put pre-post name date period comments on there, then name date summary, and then the next thing you want to do is change the file name. So you're going to go fencin nate8 and then hello file, because we're outputting the file on this one. And the first thing you want to do is create a string variable. So right here we're going to go string, which is the object type. We're going to put a name. I'm going to do it fencin because that's my name. You should not do fencin because you should do something else. And we are going to be doing a string which we're going to be calling Mr. Fencin Pones. So we put that in double quotes so it turns green and put a semicolon at the end. So instead of writing Mr. Fencin Pones here, we're just going to be writing the variable name fencin, which then puts in the value of Mr. Fencin Pones. And then after the new line, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the value of fencin to something else. So we're going to be going from fencin to all students, comma, muhaha. Of course, you don't want to put all students here, and you don't want to put me here. Obviously, you want to put you here and put all teachers here, then muhaha. You have to do this exact setup, except this should be teachers, and this should be your name. And then you have to put muhaha, but it can be as many ha-has as you want. And then when you compile and run this, what I want you to see is when you run it, it creates the output folder, but it only does done, output file, sorry. So when you go into your hello world, we scroll down, we have input output. Notice that output only says Mr. Fencin Pones. So what I want you to do is go over to input and say, hello, I like to go fishing, or any kind of sentence you want to make. Go ahead and save that, and then go back and run the program. And notice it says done now. And then when you go back here, go to the output folder and see what happens. What I want you to do is have it so that output's just that, straight from the program, and not from you deleting the text. So every time you run it, it should output just twice. And that's pretty much it. What I want you to see is also just read through all these comments just so you can see what each line does. It's not really important, but it will help you. Most of this stuff is already built in, or I'm just going to give you this code anyways. That's it. Make sure you do the pre-post name date period summary on the top. Let's go through the rest of the notes. We have notes here. Just go ahead and read those. This is what it should look like when you run the program. And again, you can't manipulate that. You have to give me your input.txt file and these 3 Java files when you turn it in for the full credit assignment. You can't just turn in one. Here's a little bit of instructions how to do the pre-post name date period summary. And that's it. Have a good one. I will see you later.